Welcome back to Red Hawk Media. Thanks for joining us again. Today we're going to take a look at something called the Ken Burns effect. Now that I got that out of my system, let's really look at the Ken Burns effect here. We're working on iMovie today, and Ken Burns is actually an American producer, a director, and documentary guy that revolutionized the effect. And we're going to take a look at that and how it works, actually. So I'm going to start with a picture that I grabbed from online, and we're going to go ahead and drag Ken Burns in here. There he is. Okay, yeah, he's now about 60 years old, but he revolutionized the effect with his documentaries. And the effect is really simple, actually. When you play it, it causes motion on a still picture. Now, if you're putting together documentaries, you're scanning in old pictures, you're going through archives, you're doing stuff like that, you have to come up with a way to make it more interesting. And having just a still picture on the screen can be very, very boring and slow moving. So he came up with this effect to kind of spice it up. If we take a closer look at what's going on here, we've got a couple things. Once you drag the picture in, if you were to go up to the adjust panel here and get into the adjustments, so from the start, let's go back here. This is where you might be when you first put the picture in. Okay? If you click on adjust, it brings up the panel of all the adjustments. One of the adjustments on under the cropping feature is you can go with fit, you can go with crop, where you can actually choose what size picture you want, how much of the picture you want, and all that, or if you just want to focus on a certain part of the picture that's going to fit your layout, or you can go with the Ken Burns effect. Now, the Ken Burns effect has two different boxes that you can be working with, a starting box and an ending box. The effect starts in the top box here, and it's going to end up down here. And given the directional angle, you can see what direction it's going to follow. So right now, let's say I was going to start all the way up here, where we've got the top part of Ken Burns, and then it's going to end down here. So just to give you an idea of what that looks like, we play this through, starts at the top, and it just slowly scrolls through and scans down so you can see all of Ken Burns here. Now that's one way you can do it, where you can create these pan shots where they just basically gently scroll up to down, left to right, however you want to set it up. Another way we can do this, which he's infamous for, is we take a smaller starting position here, okay, and we focus in on something that's unique or a detail that's a key piece of your documentary or your video that you're putting together. This could be to highlight anything, actually, a clue in a mystery show, whatever you want to do with this. But we start with a smaller box here, and then we go ahead and zoom out to a larger one, a much larger one. So we're going to go out to the full picture of Ken Burns here. So if I go ahead and click the check mark here, give you an idea of what this is going to do, starts in close and it just slowly goes out. It's a nice zoom effect in reverse. And of course I can do these backwards as well. I can make my starting box the larger box, like so. And then if I move that down, grab this ending box, put that down to nice and small here, this is where it's going to end up zoomed in. We want a Clint Eastwood, the good, the bad, the ugly kind of feature where it's going to focus in on his eyes here. Okay, and let's go ahead and start there, and boom, we've got it. Now, let's go ahead and click the check mark, and this is what it goes like. Nice and slow, pans in, and there we go. We need like some bramble, some tumbleweed, and some, goofy music in the background. Alright, so here we have it. That's the Ken Burns effect. That's what we're looking at working on today. One caution to you as you're using images from the internet, which a lot of people tend to do. If you go to the internet and you happen to grab the image, the tendency is to want to actually grab the image and just drag it right in or drag it right to your desktop. You're going to end up with some problems there because you're not getting the full quality of the image. Make sure you go to View Image so you can get to the full size image, blow it up, and then save your image actually to wherever you need to keep it for your project. So we'll just call this one Effect. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my desktop, save it there. Now I've got the full quality. If I had not done that, I would have gotten a lesser quality picture and it would not have looked quite as well for my project. Okay, so just a few tips for the Ken Burns effect and a little documentary, I guess, mini documentary on Ken Burns himself, the American director, and the man that made this effect possible. All right, well, thank you for joining us here on Red Hawk Media. We'll see you again.